Welcome back to Garrard McClendon Live. 630-575-TALK is the number. You can hit my blog at cltv.com/GML. We have the Cook County Board President with us right now, Mr. Todd Stroger. Welcome to Garrard McClendon Live.
Thank you, Gerard.
We appreciate you for coming out, but my blog commenters are upset, and it's about these blue and gold Cook County signs at the tune of $120,000. Mr. Stroger, you got to explain this to my viewers.
Well, I talked to the superintendent. I asked him what was his reasoning, and he said it's a public safety issue. It is their responsibility to repair the roads. If anything happens in an accident sense, it is the department's responsibility. And people call in and say there are certain things happening on the road. He said they don't have complete signage, and that they need to know where these things are occurring.
Yeah.
Now, I agree, though, that this is not the time to do it.
Yeah.
So we will have to have discussion and see if we can cancel the contract.
Yeah.
We just don't have the funds to be to do that kind of work at this time.
Okay, because you know the numbers on the signs don't correspond to state routes or U.S. highways. These signs have no meaning to the public. I can see if they're mile markers, but you know, as far as it being a waste of $120,000 in a recession, what does Todd Stroger have the power to do in this situation?
Well, we have certain things we can do in terms of stopping contracts. So there are signs that have been printed, but I'm sure there are other things, other signs that haven't been. So we can say that we no longer want to do this contract, and that's it. Terminate.
Okay, so you can you can curtail the rest of the spending.
Correct.
Okay, now, so when we're talking about funds like this, or even other items, line items in the budget, is there a situation where we have a line item on a budget and the board feels that money just has to be spent just because it's a line item?
Well, we really depend on the department heads. These departments are relatively large, most of them. So these people are experts. So the county engineer, who is the superintendent for the highway, he's been doing this for 30 years or something. We depend on his expertise to tell us what's the right thing to do. There's some things that he makes decisions on, and other directors that I say, you need to come and talk to our office first.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that I want them to talk to me first before they really implement it, because it's not we have to have it today type of thing. And those are the kind of things that need to go through our office so we can vet them and say this isn't the important items.
$84.4 million in cuts,
Yes.
and President Todd Stroger still wants to borrow, for operating expenses?
No,
clarify.
Well, right off the bat, that's the paper making a spin on reality. The problem I have is the paper doesn't always tell the truth.
Okay.
So we never want to borrow for operating expenses. What they're calling operating expenses are the lawsuits that happen at the jail and that happen at the hospital. So the hospital director told us it'll probably be almost $60 million that they will pay out in judgments in a year. Those aren't operating expenses. There's no salaries involved in this. So because the numbers are so big in 1 year, the county had decided about 6 years ago that they would use their debt service to pay that.
Okay.
So that would not mean any rise in taxes or anything of that nature. The formula is there to make sure that the money that we receive now pays for our debt service.
You're watching Garrard McClendon Live tonight. We have Cook County Board President Todd Stroger in the studio with us. Mr. Stroger, we got to get right to this.
Please.
Relatives on the payroll. Now, come on. Now, do you find that this is something that is not ethical? Do you think that just because the people are qualified, it's okay? Come on, clarify for my audience.
Sure. There are, well, I should take that back. There used to be 500 Shackman exempt positions. So those are positions that I, as the president, get to appoint people, and these are policy positions. So they head departments, and they determine what the county should do. Who you're probably referring to is my cousin, Donna, who has worked for the county for 20 years. When I came to the county, Donna was the head of the budget department. She'd been there for about 16 years or something of that nature. Went to school at night, got her MBA with honors from Kellogg, and when it was time to find a CFO, I found the person who I knew was well qualified, knew the county inside out, and who I could trust. And in certain positions, you have to have somebody who you can trust, especially, and you've seen how things go at the county. If I don't have somebody who I can trust who can tell me the truth, and I know she will tell me the truth because she wants to see me succeed, then I'm going to fail.
Garrard McClendon Live, we've got Cook County Board President Todd Stroger with us. Speaking of Donna Dunnings, all right, you know, if you know, her professionalism notwithstanding, all right, please clarify her giving the finger to someone. Is that verifiable?
I didn't, I read the newspaper. Okay. So I read the article.
To Alexis Herrera, Sheriff's Department.
Right. Even if they've worked together, and no matter what their relationship is, if it's good or bad, that's not the kind of behavior you would have out in public.
Okay, so you're not condoning the fact that she allegedly did that, and you're not condoning the fact that she also may have used the F word to this person as well.
Yes, I mean, you know, if they were talking about the budget, I don't know. Sometimes things get pretty heated, so I don't know how that worked. Okay. But they have some kind of working relationship. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I do know that when it comes to budget time, they get the job done for the budget. But there has to be professionalism in how you act.
Okay, that's legit. Rumors, Paul Vallis may be coming back to town, Mr. Stroger. Are you running in the next election, and do you fear running against possibly Paul Vallis?
Well, first, I don't fear running against any man. I've been here for 2 years. People are always telling the newspapers, I should say certain commissioners are always saying there needs to be some change and such going on. Well, in those 2 years, we've had tremendous change. We've had a new inspector general. We have a new human resources director. We've cut the budget by 17% when we were $500 million in the hole. We passed the sales tax, and you know what that sales tax really meant?
What did it mean?
It meant that last year that we didn't close all the clinics, and we didn't close probably Providence Hospital. You know what it means this year? It means this year we don't have to close Oak Forest Hospital. Those are really the things we're talking about when we're talking about that tax increase.
So when people were bickering about the tax increase, they were focusing more on the tax being increased, and this is hurting my shopping, as opposed to where the money was going.
Right. The county, we've decided to have a mission to keep the million or so visits that we have. And you have to remember, our clientele, 57% of them have no ability to pay whatsoever. They have no money. They literally have nowhere to go. So if they don't go to our system, they're out in the street.
Cook County Board President Todd Stroger is with us on GML. We appreciate you being with us. We're going to extend the show for a little bit longer tonight. 630-575-TALK is the number. Garrard McClendon Live will be back with Mr. Todd Stroger. 2 minutes.